Now, I'm proud to introduce Luis Eduardo Sanchez. Born to a Mexican immigrant father and Chicana mother, Luis Sanchez grew up in suburban Illinois. All it took was a high school project for him to reconnect with his roots, where he gained an appreciation for ranchera, banda, norteño, and other traditional Mexican music, which he now platforms on his hit radio show, Radio Fuego. Broadcasting through the airways of UIC's campus, he invites up-and-coming Latin musicians to play their songs and talk about their love for Mexican music and culture. Everyone, Luis Eduardo Sanchez.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Luis Eduardo Sanchez, 19-year-old son of a father immigrant, Jose Luis Sanchez, and mother of a Chicana, Jessica Sanchez. I'm going to say it right now, me van a ver llorar, so mil disculpas ya, all right? So we're all gathered here today to discuss what is the joy of being Mexican. Is it opening a mazapan without it breaking? Is it drinking abuelita hot chocolate with your abuelita? I'm going to discuss my story of what is the joy of being Mexican from my point of view. So one day in elementary school, I'm getting ready, eating cornflakes, listening to or watching Go Diego Go and Dora, and I'm learning this new word, and I'm so excited to share with my classmates. Oh man, I just learned this new word, and the word was learning the orgullo. So I'm excited to get to my classroom, and as you guys heard, I live in a predominantly white neighborhood. So I'm excited to share with all my classmates that are white. I'm learning this new word, orgullo, and I'm out there telling them, hey, I just learned this new word, and I have this kid come up to me who says, hey, we live in America. You have to speak English. You can't speak Spanish in school. And from that moment, I was like, whoa, maybe I'm not supposed to show my roots or anything like that. Maybe that should only stay at home. So from that moment forth, I felt like my life was split into two. One at home, living with Spanish and everything like that, and the other one showing my American life. Fast forward to Mexico of 2019. I am now in San Pablo, Jerecuaro, Guanajuato, and for my tío Toño's wedding. And seeing my dad's pueblo, all the poverty, and seeing everything like that, it touched me because it shows that the life here in the U.S., it's taken for granted. Seeing what everybody comes from, seeing where my dad came from, it opened up a big part of me, making sure that I appreciated life in the USA more. So from that moment forth, I want to give a special shout out to 6 people. 4 of them are here today, and 2 of them couldn't be here. I now want to give a shout out to my grandparents, Eduardo Sanchez, my grandma, Sofia Sanchez, my parents, Jessica and Jose Sanchez, and the 2 people that couldn't make it here today, my great-grandparents, Papa Socorro Sanchez y Mama Lupe Sanchez, que están en el cielo. Those 4 people right there are the reason why I keep going and keep moving in life. They're the reasons that keep me going in life, making sure, always looking for a goal. And now, seeing that, it really opened my eyes going to Mexico and seeing, there's something to be grateful here about and see, not to hide your roots, to embrace them. So from that moment forth, I decided, I'm going to be as passionate as I can about my culture. I'm no longer going to hide it. I'm going to express it with everything I have. And now transition, I am now a sophomore at the University of Illinois, Chicago. Thank you. Now, I'm always wondering, what's the next step? What's the next step? So now, as you guys heard, I now have my show called Radio Fuego, and now I'm going to tell you guys the origin of how that started. So I'm walking around campus, and, I see the club fair is there and everything like that, and the radio has there's tables set up and everything like that, and right away I knew from the bat that I wanted to have my radio station in Spanish, because that's all I listened to. My mom, she showed me Spanish rock, reggaeton. My dad showed me the rancheras, norteños, everything like that. So, I got the best of both worlds, So from right there, I knew I wanted to play Spanish music. But it wasn't until April of 2022 that I made a TikTok that went a little bit viral, Y pues, I pretty much said, hey, I'm inviting these Spanish grupos to come onto my show, and, I'm tired of seeing grupos in Texas, California. There's so much talent here in the city of Chicago, and I just want it to be found. Social media did its thing, and like that, I had almost every grupo in Chicago contacting me, wanted to be on my show. Grupos from Texas, North Carolina, Iowa. I didn't even know there was grupos in Iowa. Pero yeah, and I just, the amount of support I had was amazing from the start. And, you know, I had the idea of what my show was going to be. Now I just needed the name. So my dad's picking me up from school, and I'm like, I'm telling him my idea to eso. And he's like, why don't you try? And I was like, well, I was like, well, the mascot of UIC is the Flames. So I'm like, let me put that in Google Translate and see what it is. And it came out to Fuego. Y pues ahí quedó, Radio Fuego. Ahí nació. And, you know, so from that moment forward, Radio Fuego was born, and it's still going today. You guys can listen every Tuesday, 3 to 5. We have Spanish grupos every day. But yeah, that's what Radio Fuego is all about. And, you know, I want to give a special shout out to my dad, because he really opened up my eyes. And, you know, because after high school, I wanted to transition to architecture. And he's like, mijo, is this something you really want to be doing? He's like, because yo te veo que tienes la voz y la personalidad de estar en la tele o en el radio. And I was like, pues, tienes razón, pa. No, pues, yeah. And, pues, yeah, I thought about it that night. And, man, he opened up my eyes. So, pa, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And, man, from that moment forth, I just been getting blessings on top of blessings. This summer, I want to give a special shout-out to the Grassroots event, Alexandra and Osvaldo, who made a kid's dream come true. You know, they let me backstage to interview grupos like Bronco, Mi Banda El Mexicano, La Sonora Diamántica, so many grupos. And then they like my work so much, they invited me back for the Mas Flow Reggaeton Fest, where I was there interviewing Evie Queen, Zion and Lennox, Tito El Bambino, so many other people. It was a blessing. So I want to give a special shout out to them, because they're the reason that my career is now moving forward. And yeah, that's pretty much what I leave you guys with. I leave you guys, if you guys are parents, please support your kids and their dreams. I'm thankful to have such a family that supports my dreams and everything I do. I encourage parents and everything like that to make sure you guys encourage your kids' dreams. You guys shouldn't be the ones to hurt them or, you know, support them 100%, because even if it's not about the money, it's about, you know, getting out there into the world. You know, pues, el dinero sí, but yeah, I leave you guys with that. And like I said, you guys can find more about me at The Real Luis Sanchez on Instagram, Radio Fuego. We're live every Tuesday to 3 to 5. I want to thank you guys all for coming out here today. Y puro Radio Fuego, mi gente. Gracias por escuchar, you guys. Thank you guys so much.